making a commitment to continuous growth and professionalism in your business aviation management career through earning CAM accreditation. From the National Business Aviation Association, this is Flight Plan. I'm Rob Finfrock with your trusted source for business aviation news. NBAA's Certified Aviation Manager program identifies qualified professionals to lead flight departments and organizations that use business aircraft. The CAM credential acknowledges professionals who are committed to continuous development and higher standards of practice. Now, the decision to pursue CAM accreditation is not one to be made lightly. It takes months of studying, sometimes longer. The exam tests the applicant's knowledge and experience in areas not only across the broad spectrum of our industry, but in all aspects of professional development. But the end result is truly a demonstration of the CAM candidate's exemplary level of industry knowledge and expertise, and their commitment to lead.
I believe it means that you take a vested interest in your job or position. You do whatever you can do to gain knowledge to grow in your position, whether that means extra training, attending conference events, networking in the industry. Doing the job, I would say, is you're just simply checking the boxes. You're just going to work and doing your assigned tasks, not going above and beyond to do anything additional for yourself.
That was Carrie Wicht, Corporate Travel Flight Coordinator for Harley-Davidson Motor Company, and I'm pleased to welcome her and two of her colleagues to this discussion today. All three recently earned their CAM accreditation, an accomplishment that Air Flight Crew's pilot and technician Joe Davis believes highlights a real commitment to aim higher in our industry.
I think we've all seen it along our profession that you can just get by, settle, and still pick up some progression, but it comes down to what you really want out of the job. Are you going to identify your own strengths and weaknesses? Are your current capabilities enough? Or what do you want to get out of it? Do you have job goals? Do you want to remain a valuable member of the team? If so, you're going to have to pick it up and do some professional growth.
And of course, the choice to grow professionally in your career doesn't begin with going after the CAM. Brad Phelps is a captain with Stockmeyer Urethanes USA Incorporated.
Most of my preparation was tied into my job already with international procedures courses, the FACS training, things of that nature. But I also a lot of reading, industry periodicals, as Joe said, as well as books on professionalism. For example, several books by Dr. Tony Kern were very applicable to my role in operations, but also podcasts as well. This one included, where there's a variety of topics that are addressed on different podcasts throughout the industry that I always listen for little nuggets that could be used to improve myself on a regular basis. You just, you never know when you're going to learn something. So I'm always trying to stay on top of things because we're in a very dynamic and changing industry. And I feel like if you don't stay, in front and on top of it, you'll quickly fall behind.
Carrie, what are some ways you've sought additional training through your career?
Before I decided to go ahead with pursuing the CAM, I did go and get my FAA aircraft dispatch license. I just wanted sort of a more formal training behind my position. I did recurrence at a variety of different schools, which all presented different learning topics and just kind of broadened my horizon that way. Also, attending the NBA conferences and staying involved with NBAA. Local involvement, staying in touch with our local business aviation groups, participation in roundtables, and even training outside of what I normally do. I have done everything from FACS training with our crews, which generally does not pertain to my position, but that's just an example of something that I did outside of my normal job duties to expand my knowledge base.
That highlights something that's always stuck out to me about CAM accreditation. It really requires you to move outside your individual niche within our industry and expand your world a bit. Brad, was that something you found difficult to do?
For me, it was fairly easy. The 5 different CAM domains, throughout my career, I've interacted, with maintenance as well as leadership. And growing myself, looking forward to after successfully completing the CAM, seeing myself as a leader and taking the different abstract terms from, say, a management textbook and trying to mold it into a scenario in my mind, how I would handle different situations as a leader were kind of motivating factors for me. It's, throughout my career, I've worked with people that are very good leaders and people I really wanted to emulate. But on the opposite side of the coin, I've worked with folks that left a lot to be desired in the leadership role. So I wanted to take nuggets from both experiences and kind of tie that in with the studying and preparation for the CAM to where I could make myself a better leader in the future.
Joe, what about you?
What I took away was always remain a student. Self-improvement was key for me to stay on top of the industry changes, developments, as well as gaining a better understanding what motivated and drove the flight department. Getting outside the bubble for me offered insight into other roles, responsibilities in aviation, so I could recognize, respect everyone out there. And there's only so many hats I could wear. You got to have your resources of people that can help you out, and you can help them along the way as well. So some of the things I ran across may not help me at the moment, but put them in my back pocket or give me perspective in someone else's shoes.
Carrie, is what Joe and Brad described similar to your own professional development experiences?
Oh, for sure. The lessons that I took away was it helped me build a good solid background and a good foundation. Just so when I started diving into the CAM studies that, stuff was familiar to me. So I believe that truly helped me out. And as far as being intimidated, I felt kind of more energized. If there was stuff that I didn't know, you should be learning every day. So if there was a lot of things I didn't know, but going through the studies, just kind of made me more excited and want to learn more about the industry. Other parts that I don't really dive into every day, they were interesting for me and just keep wanting to learn more.
We'll have more with our guests in just a moment. But first, this word from NBAA.
NBAA Flight Plan listeners, you get your weekly news here. Are you getting the latest daily headlines? The NBAA Insider Daily News Service puts the news you need in your hands every weekday morning, free of charge. Don't miss out. Subscribe today at nbaa.org/daily.
We're back now with Carrie Wicht, Brad Phelps, and Joe Davis, 3 business aviation professionals who recently earned the distinction of accreditation through NBAA's Certified Aviation Manager program. Carrie, we've discussed the attitudes all 3 of you take toward your careers, which really made going after the CAM a logical decision. But what convinced you to finally take that leap?
For me, it just felt like the next logical step in my career in aviation. I didn't want to do the CAM with, an aspiration to become a director or a manager. I come from a very small Part 91 flight department where we all wear many hats. The knowledge that I gained from taking the CAM allows me to share with my team and assist my director. I work very close with my director, so I feel it gave me a level playing field with my knowledge, just so I could help him more and be more of an assistant to him.
Joe, when did you decide to pursue CAM accreditation?
I started looking at CAM a long time ago. It actually used to come on a CD to get the study material. As I got into looking at the material from another CAM at the organization, just realized how much of it I was unaware of. So I backed it up and chose it as more of a long-term goal. So I'm probably looking at this about 12 plus years ago, and that's what led me down to pursue the other programs to lead up to this. And the challenge of it, getting out of the comfort zone into areas I was unaware of or weak in the industry, and see where my own experiences at this point fit in with the material.
Brad?
It always had been in the back of my mind as something, I wanted to pursue in the future. It just became with family and things like that. It just always kind of stayed on the back burner until about the beginning of 2020. The timing just seemed to work. The flying in our flight department really slowed down. I also work with another CAM, and having conversations with him and his experience in, learning and then taking the CAM exam kind of motivated me. And we have a small flight department, but I think our company is very forward thinking in that professional development is encouraged throughout the company. And talking with the person I work with, he encouraged it, and the company supported me in the preparation. And, with our slowing flight schedule, that gave me the time and opportunity to study and prepare. Can I ask you a question? Carrie, did you or Joe, did you do the 6-month to CAM, or was your studying basically on your own? I was just kind of curious. It seems like from what I've seen on LinkedIn, the NBA is growing CAMs quickly, and it seems like that's a popular program. I didn't do it, but I was just wondering about your experiences.
So I'll be honest here. The very first time I took the exam, I did not pass. I did a self-study method, which obviously wasn't the best route for me. I did do the 6 months to CAM program with NBAA this past July through December, and I would say it was very beneficial. Forming a study group, I think, is key, and just having a schedule to stay on track with was, I would say, the reason why I passed the second time around.
I know several others who earned their CAM accreditation, and not all of them passed their first time out either. Joe, how did you handle studying for the CAM?
I did the 6 month of CAM. It was structure was intriguing. Just it was laid out pretty well, I thought. Just sit down and start going through it. And I've seen some other things out there too. Things being like study programs, but the 6 months seemed to help. That and having no flights.
Yeah, with no flights on the schedule, I was able to dedicate a couple hours a day, kind of lock myself in an area that I guess you could call it my office. It doubles as a rec room, and that's what I did, was dedicate at least 2 or 3 hours a day, basically like a college course, and would take either the textbook or the NBA management guide, that they referred to for each question, and then kind of read a section or read the chapter or the section around that, and just highlight like, a madman with, different topics.
Yeah, that helped me out too. I got to have the paper books. It helps the most. It's not like all the other tests I've taken in aviation. Here's the question, there's the answer. These questions are written by people just like us. They try to take it out to where it's not going one direction, but it's individuals like you and I. It's easier just to talk to the real world experience for some of these resources.
Well, I think for me, it pulled me, out of my comfort zone. And like you said, reaching out to people that you normally wouldn't talk to or hadn't talked to in, 3 or 4 months. I think that's, to maintain relationships in our small industry is hugely important.
I found getting into my contacts list is where I ended up. Now you're talking to the FBO and talking to who's in charge of the fuel farm. And it was good, though. Get you back out talking to people that it's been too long since I've spoke with them. So it's a good time to catch up and put that back together.
Congratulations to all three of you for earning your CAM accreditation, and thanks for sharing your insights on this process. In conclusion, Brad, how do you feel this will affect your career going forward?
Being a CAM puts you in a network of obviously very knowledgeable industry experts, if you will. And I think that's extremely valuable for every company, where there's other CAMs I can reach out to if there's something I run across that is a little bit baffling or I'm not familiar with. I feel confident that I can reach out, that there's probably another CAM out there that has experienced at least something similar and can lead to the best possible case scenario coming on the backside of that.
Carrie, what role do you expect CAM will have in your career?
Further off in the future, for sure it can open doors to new job opportunities and possibilities if that's something I want to do at that time. But for me, with the CAM accreditation, I really want to be able to give back to the industry, to mentor, and just to be able to share my experience and knowledge with others.
Joe?
It's another tool. All the information and networking gained offers me more resources I'll use with my current tasks to do them better, assist others within the flight department, having a new understanding on challenges that they're up against, as well as those that I've met along the way. So not sure what's next, but needed some resources to help me out.
NBAA recently announced the 600th business aviation professional to earn CAM accreditation, Kevin Martin, who also participated in the 6 Months to CAM initiative. To learn more about that program and additional details about what it means to be a certified aviation manager, visit nbaa.org/CAM. And that's the latest from the National Business Aviation Association. Remember, you can subscribe to all Flight Plan episodes at Apple Podcasts in the App Store, wherever you find your favorite podcasts, including by asking Alexa or another connected device, or download them from nbaa.org. I'm Rob Finfrock. Thanks for listening, and join us next time for a new episode of Flight Plan.